Hello, Brother Monroe here. Welcome back to Ultimate Naval Dreadnoughts and the Japanese campaign, where we're moving on to the Caribbean, primarily, just to clean up all of the French nonsense over here, including taking the Panama Canal, which would be quite useful for us. I wonder if the British are considering an alternative canal. Anyway, there's a group of light cruisers against a bunch of our ships. Shouldn't be a huge issue. Hopefully once we've eliminated the outer French colonies, we will be able to take continental France. And then it'll be a case of waiting. There are more ships that I need, probably. It's just like cruisers, isn't it? There's a lot of refitting that'll need doing as well. Yeah. A lot of stuff that needs doing. Wow, we've got a pretty powerful little fleet here. Somewhere there are light cruisers. There they are. They'll disappear into smoke immediately. Oh, Fuso getting the hits there. Yeah, they're going to come in and try and torpedo me. Haven't fired yet. Let's go arm piercing on the secondaries, please. Oh, they've fired. Who did they fire at? One at the back. Right, some hits. Speed up again. Ugh. Okay, they surrender. Very good. Big hits. Lovely stuff. Nice shot. Who is that? Tosa. Yeah, they're just getting ripped apart. Down goes Captian. Just the Cecile. Eliminated. Good. No torpedoes taken in return. There's just some minor scratches. Good stuff. Well done, Fuso. Get rid of all that. Oh, hello. You're trying to counter-invade. Bold. 115 here. They're all needed for that one. They're doing double duty. But we do have spare tonnage, so let's... What's down here? Heavy, no light. Let's send the battlecruiser to go deal with them. Just in case. The blockade continues. Very good. What are we getting here? Oh, I seem to get the Mark 511, so refits of the heavy cruisers inbound. Yes, good stuff. Alright, another squash match, probably. So I'm not going to spend too long on this. It's a storm as well. Maybe I'm better off just not in a storm. But I do want to eliminate those friendships if I can. There they are. There is a heavy cruiser in there. The Tempest. Come on, chaps. Get a hit. There's one. Overpen. Oh, that was a good hit. And a second one. Main belt pen from Key. Yeah, that ship's done for. Dell gonna try and attack. Captain's out. Lots of flooding, ammo debt. For the main gun as well. Dead in the water. All the hits are forward, so I'm not actually getting rid of her. Come on. And that either the bulkhead to break or the ship to fall apart. There you go. Simple stuff. No. Okay, Virgin Islands and the French Antilles cleaned up. Oh, that was the fleet from here. Oh well, I'll leave the battlecruiser there just in case. I guess Northern Colombia will be next. Yeah, we're sinking the French ships almost as soon as they are built. 65%. I might send a ship to reinforce this squadron. Send Fuso. And yeah, we shall continue with the blockade. Alright, welcome back. The invasions over here are going quite well. I think they're all at 100%. Yeah, and then one turn here. A bit longer here, 2 turns here, and then all of these ships will be released to... I'm probably going to throw them all at southern France and try and capture that, help out the army, and then we'll move around and take western France and northern France, and then we'll eliminate France. However, before that, we have the heavy cruisers to redo. Now, I have already done the 8-inch and 9-inch armed cruisers. So it is just the Obamas and the Yamamotos to do. I will cut out the loading, but let's start off with the Obama. Okay, let's go. So, first of all, update all the guns to their Mark V variants. Next, add radar and auto loaders, which solves the biggest problem with the triple base, which solves the biggest problem I find with the 11-inch armed cruisers, which is that nice they suffer a bit on rate of fire. Let's go for a super diesel. But now their rate of fire is just under 2 rounds a minute, which is pretty darn solid. Yeah, I don't really feel the need to do much else to these. Might fiddle with the gun lengths a little bit. So the 11's at 50, that's fine. The 5s, though, we want them to be long, and we want the 2... a couple of 2 singles. Let's upgrade those 2 quads, if they fit. They do. Perfection. Little micro turbo lasers. There's still a single gun on the ship somewhere. There they go. I know they're probably never going to do anything, but they're, you know, a real life ship would have this type of armament on it, 40mm type guns, anti-aircraft. What else? No, you can't fit max bulkheads. Could up the inner layers a little bit, because they're looking a little on the weedy side. There we go. Lovely. No, that range is now ridiculously good. There we go. There we go. We'll go for maximum bulkheads on them. Some extra subdivisioning. The only other thing is I could keep them at many, actually adjust the position of the guns just slightly, if I can, so that the citadel covers the... So this was pointed out to me in the comments, and I am really appreciative of it, is that, yeah, we'll leave the range as is. Essentially, these 2 aftmost compartments and these 2 forwardmost compartments, These are the ones that are protected by... well, actually, that's not true. So, it's complicated because this was a system added after, and that's often the case in Ultimate Admiral. So, the light-coloured areas are protected by your extended armour. Okay, so these are not as armoured. The darker coloured stuff is protected by your mains, and then there's an even darker section. This is your machinery spaces, right? But in the old version of the game, the way it worked was these compartments, these ones, these ones, and these ones. So the forwardmost two, aftmost two, are counted as your extended section for the purposes of damage, and they never changed that. And the inner ones, so the inner 6, are considered your mains, right? So if you have a situation where, for instance, your gun is quite far back and a lot of this section is only half shaded, you can take a hit to your extended armor, but it counts as a hit to an important section of the ship, basically. So if you can, an elite form of optimizing your ships is to have this, where the armor goes right up to the bulkhead. And that way, any hits to important parts of the ship should be covered by your main belt armor, basically. That's the idea. Anyway, I'm going to save this design, and I'm going to go load up the Amashiros. Okay, so next up are the Yamamotos, and you can see here they have a very short citadel, which I might want to fix up, actually. So this one, we really want to be about here. And this one, we want to be about here. That gives us the full ship, basically. Now the thing is, oh, we get the 4. Yeah, let's extend the. We can make the ship. Yeah, we're going to have a bit of a radical rethink on this ship, I think. Right, funnel. Can I fit bigger funnels on here? Or is it still just the teeny tiny titchy ones? 2. Okay. Oil. Let's get the super diesel. Better armor. I'll leave torpedo protection as that is very heavy to change. Triple bays, autoloaders. Upgrade all those turrets. We'll have to rework the secondary armament as well, which is what I'm thinking about here, because I now have space on this ship. Space to add proper heavy secondary armament, because at the moment all this thing is carrying is 2-inch. Which is fine, but yeah, I think this is probably going to have like 5s or something. So, will it take a 5? Oh, it will. So if we add the turbo lasers, what's the rate of fire on these things? 5? Bloody hell. I'm thinking of maybe having Yamato style secondaries on this. Maybe not. I don't know. We are overweight though. Maybe I can't do it on this ship because I am just going overweight. Yeah, I'm going to have to... Whilst I would like to do this, I think on this particular ship, I think if I could make the ship shorter, I would. This one is not going to be perfect, so this one is going to have it. We're going to be further back. Although, it's saying I have an halfway offset, and I don't like this. So can we move the whole... That'll end up maybe just moving the whole ship forward, though, won't it? Maybe that's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, now I've got a forward weight offset. But it's this gun, which I kind of want to be here. Which is not ideal, but it works. Then we'll move everything back a bit. Well, we don't need to move that one back. We just have it spaced. So it's got a bit of a long bottom, this ship now. There is a more radical thing I could do. Although weight is going to be an issue. And that is to add another turret. That, you know, we're into rebuild here. Can I make that work? I'll drop the range a touch because it's so crazy good. I can drop the whole buckets to many. That's fine. There you go. That is a little bit of a radical approach, effectively giving you a brand new type of heavy cruiser. But that's a lot more firepower than they used to have. Yeah, 5 months seems optimistic for a rebuild this extensive. But yeah, I like that more because that's giving me some really interesting firepower. Okay, sure. Right. Well, I'll save this and I'll get them refitting, and then I'll see when there's something else to talk about, I guess. Well. The French have something quite interesting. The Flanderer. This is presumably their attempt to save themselves a massive 94,000-ton battleship that can do 30 knots and has 8 19.6-inch guns. Yikes. And against it we have a cruiser squadron. I've got to see this thing. I am prepared to retreat from this because it's quite likely that we're not going to succeed here. But this is worth a punt. Right, I'm going to just not have anybody in a division at all. Just because I know this is a motley collection of units. Right, where are they exactly? That way. Okay. Tops off. That way. Tops off. That way. Tops off. Here she is. We'll have a look at her in a moment. Mark IIs. So they're not the... Oh, fuck's sake. What is this? Oh, that was nearly a brilliant ship. ruined by stupid secondary placement. So she can't fire her guns forward. I guess it's not an issue if you're planning on fighting broadside on. Quite a lot of 8-inch guns and some 3-inch. Pretty well armoured. Anti-torpedo 5. High cap, high explosive. Okay. Biggest gun I've got, I think, is a 9-inch, isn't it? Yep. Well, it's going to be interesting, for sure. Destroyers are going to get to her first, almost certainly. What her reaction is... Oh, she's firing. Fuck me, those are big guns. Destroyer's opening up. Armor piercing, please, Yusuke. Hey, destroy a secondary gun. Not bad. It'll be a 3-incher, but still. Smoke. I actually think you're close enough to fire. Torpedoes away. Right, who's next? Odaki. Turn, smoke, normal. Tsubaki, turn, smoke. Yeah, first... Yeah, destroyers making their attack, basically. Good chance to test out the new balance on destroyers, because they are a lot easier to hit these days. Oh, that's looking dangerous. That is looking very dangerous for the Flandre. Away just a bit, but we are definitely going to get some hits here. Bonk. Right in the middle. Boom! Oh! Whatever that was, it was a big hit. You fired? It's like I had you on off. Do you have any left? Yeah, you've got one launcher left. Why did you fire at that stupid bloody angle? What? How's she doing? Oh, that's a lot of flooding. It did actually get a hit, shockingly, but it was a dud. Right, now you can fire the rest. If you do have a rest. Next will probably be the Izumi, although she's a bit light on torpedoes. She does have a couple. Yeah, I'm not sure Tsubaki has any more, unfortunately. Still, that is an awful lot of flooding already. That was very good destroyer attack. Andre, not doing 30 knots anymore. Into just under 18. Come on, Izumi. Yeah, right about there. Fire. And she's also firing her 6-inch guns at pretty point-blank range. Good job. Get out, smoke. Flandre might not even need those extra torpedoes. Look at all that flooding. Nope. Down she goes. Oh. Oh. Wow. If I was the French Admiralty, I would be absolutely distraught. Just finished your, your fancy new 3.3 billion battleship that is going to take on the Japanese Yamatos, and then it gets destroyed relatively little effort by a bunch of destroyers. Questions need to be asked. Wow. Okay, I very rarely do I run that type of attack as well. Normally that's just suicide. And bear in mind, I'm running on the dev version where destroyers are easier to hit. Much easier to hit. So that is very concerning that happened. Especially even more concerning is we're going to be able to start assembling ships to begin the invasion of southern France. We will need a lot of tonnage, 400,000 tons, but that should be released in a few turns. Oh, there's another one. There's another one in Panama, of all places. So the Ki and the Mutsu have run into her. Oh, we've got to try this. I know she's got 19-inch guns, but this is... Come on. It's just good content. Right, I'm actually going to split the ships. So Ki and Mutsu are going to attack very aggressively, I think. Although we're already in range. Actually, do I have a range advantage over them with their Mark IIs? 22 versus 28. I do have a range advantage. So what I should do is do this. And get both ships just firing all their guns. We don't have a speed advantage, so no one's going to be able to dictate the range, so they probably will be able to get in range if they really want to. What the Mutsu hit straight away. Causes detonation of the secondary magazine. Wow, we've actually started close. Oh, I hadn't realised we'd started close. Should have just immediately started turning. If I have Ki edge away just a little bit, and Mutsu where she is. Come on, get that turret around. Fired right as the turret came on the right bearing. Yeah, she's firing back. So huge, those guns, but she's only firing 2 of her turrets right now. Over the top. Surprisingly low velocity. Heavy shells. Okay. Yeah, if they hit, they're going to hit hard. Nice little flooding hit. Forward. Hits on the turret, but don't damage it. Still just... See, the problem for them is they're right at the edge of their range. Because they are... Well, no, okay, 20 kilometers. But for us, that's easily in range. So our accuracy is much higher than theirs. Plus we have radar laying... No, we don't. Not on these. Not yet. Oh, nice. Again, just extended hits so far, but they have lost a couple of bulkheads, so there is flooding spreading aft. Shells are going over the top again. Bit of high explosive being thrown in. Interesting. Maybe because of the high angle of that they're at. Missing anyway, so I don't mind them. I really don't mind them finding the range with. Could you slow to 30, please? No. Getting hits in, causing fires, not the end of the world. We'll probably switch them back to armor piercing now, because we are starting to get hits consistently. Yeah, 75% on both. Now they're missing. Fuck off, game. Oh, you switched the shell type. Now I'm going to miss. All those aren't. Oh, solid salvo. Including a main belt pen. Surprising, but welcome. Oh, so this is what I was talking about. Whoa! I think that's a hit to this bit of the ship, which is counting as a main belt pen, even though it's not actually going through the main belt. It's hitting the a main section, which is this one, because this turret is slightly too far aft. But they just lost their A turret, which is the turret that was doing most of the work. You're going to have to get broadside, my friend, if you want to shoot at me. And we can... Well, we've crossed his T, but... should be able, just be able to pile fire into them without them replying. Unless they go broadside, and then they're going to be very vulnerable. I think the Verite is buggered. Bloody hell. I think that was a transverse hit. So it came in here and then it's gone down and exploded down here. Near a turret magazine. But that is a wrecked ship. The front's about to fall off. But the keel's broken. It's just flooding all the way down. Wow, they had 2 of these things. Why didn't they build them in the same place? Well, as we've seen there, no match. No match for us. They should have gone with a smaller gun they had at a higher mark. And they should have put more armour on it. No damage. Wow. So that battleship design has failed to defend itself against torpedo attack by a destroyer squadron, and failed to do any damage to 2 smaller, older battleships. Not small, but smaller and older battleships. I mean, they delayed the invasion of Panama by a month, but that's it. Pretty rubbish. They built a 3rd one. Oh my goodness, what could have happened? Because I had the 3 Yamatos sitting off La Rochelle. 2 of them have moved over here. They could have built, if they'd kept them back and they built them in, you know, La Rochelle instead of feckin' Panama, they could have sailed out with all 3 at once and tried to do something. This is a waste. This is just a waste. Because now we have properly enormous guns to deal with it. Where is she? There's Musashi. Yamato. Oh yes. Witness your doom, France. Witness your doom. Is that the key? No. Sails in front. Ruining the picture. Right, there we go. Not ruining the picture, but... Yes. Thought you had big guns. Well, to be fair to them, they do have enormous guns. But, we are deploying, I think, a completely unassailable amount of firepower here. For a single ship. A single ship sailing into the teeth of a fleet like that. And this time we do have the ability to fire on them at range. They haven't snuck up on us like they did the last time. Well, they've seen us. What they should do is turn around and run away, but I think they're going to try and advance headlong into us, which is possibly the worst thing to do with this ship. Is to try and advance just straight at an enemy line, because it's not built that way. Oh yes. 18s opening up. Hits already. See, now she's turning, thinking, oh, I better unmask my guns, but she's not in range yet. Just about in range, but not quite. She's just going to take an unreasonable amount of fire. There she goes. She got some shells off towards Mutsu. Still trying to find the range. A lot of shots going forward of the enemy ship, so I think we found the range. We just need to get the speed of the ship dialed in. Actually did a bit of damage there. Just did more than her sister ship. Probably because I'm prepared to close in for the kill. Oh, bang! Forward section just ruined. Explosion in the 8-inch gun magazine by the looks of it as well. Right, I think you've found it. Arm piercing only. Time to send some absolute ruination her way. Sashi and Yamato hitting there. All the hits to the main tower. Might even be getting in secondary range here. So much damage to the prow. But flooding all along. Seams starting to open up. Those forward 8s are an absolute liability. Oh no. Down she goes in explosive fashion. Most damage done by Tosa. Good job, Tosa. Bad news for France, though. Oh, so that was their plan, to invade Sardinia. Bold plan. Yeah, so things are being wrapped up over here. We should be able to just remove the rest of France, but I'll save that for the next episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Bye for now.